Alright, so I want to give a garden update and show what's been going on. I've been kind of meaning to get to this, but I've been a little delayed. Alright, so with the ones that I potted up the other day, it's blueberry. It's looking pretty good. The grape is looking great. I think that my raspberry probably did not make it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other stuff. I got some tomatoes and all that in the ground. I know this cage is not for growing, so I'm going to stake it. Same thing with this one. Started getting some little yellow ones on there, or a little green cherry tomatoes on there. This was part of my overwintering experiment. This one was overwintering tomatoes. I got a few of these bags because we're supposed to have a chance of snow Wednesday and Thursday. So the idea is to, and I'll probably show this whenever I put them back up, is to have the cage on and put the clear lawn waste bag over that. Excuse me, I'm going to tie it at the bottom to try to protect the plants. Other than that, I'd ended up having to put tomatoes out early because I was going to be out of town for a few days, and so I wasn't able to take care of them otherwise. So there's a few more I have in the same boat. All right, let's see, this one right here. It's actually an onion from the store I planted like last year. It's like starting to go to seed. This thing right here is gonna be for some future videos where I'm gonna try and grow a rice in the kiddie pool, but haven't got that started yet. That's what that project's gonna be. And I wanted to be able to go along and show some of this stuff because this update, there's a few important things I wanted to get into this update. And it's stuff like this, right? This is kale going to seed. As you can see, it just bolted straight up. And the same thing here. And as a side note, here's my asparagus in pots. It's going way up. I haven't harvested any of it. This is year 2 that I'm growing it. As thick as it is right there, I'm sure I could have harvested at least a spear or two. I'll let it grow a bit more. Here's just a garden bed of the greens I planted, I think, on my first video or second video. Here's some more greens. And here's more asparagus. I have a few pots of these. Now this is the, if anyone's never seen collard greens go to seed, this is what they look like. In fact, this is pretty true of a lot of the brassicas. You'll get these long shoots and you'll get these little flower bundles, and they'll all open up. And if it'd be warmer, the bees love this. They go nuts for this stuff. And it should form a bunch of pods, let them dry up, and then you'll get thousands of seeds off of this. Off this one plant here. But it's really tall. It's really tall. All right, here's some more stuff over here. You can see where this one right here is one I planted out of my other stuff, but these are the ones I had overwintered. This right here is going crazy growth here. This was actually, could never tell by looking at it, but that's spinach. And that spinach, as soon as it got warm, it wasn't even warm. It was warmer. It cut in with plastic over it when it started bolting. It's going crazy. So that, I'll get to the point I want to make about this stuff here in a minute. You'll see the greens I put in this year, and you'll see the overwintered broccoli. Overwintered broccoli. Broccoli I put in. Overwintered kale. Overwintered kale. This is the volunteer kale. Here's some stuff I put in. Here we come over to this one. We've got volunteers overwintered. You can see it's filling the bed up. And of course my strawberry in the back is looking pretty nice. My overwintered cabbage, I was so excited about surviving. I was curious if this was going to go to seed or if this was going to take longer. If anybody watched my cabbage profile video, like discussing how SHTF usable is cabbage, one of the big drawbacks, and this is the same with these, and this is the point I wanted to get across, where you see it all, most of my crop I have now is useless because it's for eating, although I guess you could eat these flowers. I think they're edible, but it's more for seed gathering. So I'm going to thin some of this out to make room for planting stuff I can actually eat, but it's still kind of cold. I do want to keep some for seed. But one of the big things I want to make, and this is very important, I don't think I've seen anybody else discussing this aspect in gardening videos. It's very important, especially when it comes to SHTF related. This cabbage in general is biannual, so I know I've mentioned that a few times. It goes to seed in its second year, so it'll grow, overwinter, grow, go to seed. So it takes a long time to get cabbage seeds. This will be the first time I've ever actually let one successfully grow, because last year I didn't cover mine and they just died from the cold. With covered in plastic, they were able to handle some really cold single-digit temperatures. So now I know that it's possible to save these. But what's so important to know about this cabbage, and not just about the cabbage, but about some of these other ones too that were overwintered, like some of this broccoli here. In fact, all this broccoli here was overwintered. That's all flowering. Is I did not plant this in the spring and let it grow and through the summer, and then let it overwinter, and then in the spring again get seeds like you normally would expect for biannual plants. I planted this as a fall crop. So this right here was small. If you saw any pictures or videos I have, which of course you didn't because I wasn't uploading anything at that time, it was all just little tiny plants, just little tiny, barely surviving, just taking a piece less than the size of my hand. Just these little tiny plants that managed to just barely survive over winter. And I had them covered in plastic. I had a hoop house over this bed, I had a hoop house over that bed. This kale I didn't bother covering at all because kale's extremely cold hardy, single-digit temperatures, didn't care. Broccoli normally can't handle that kind of cold, and neither can cabbage. But by doing that, by getting this stuff, planting it in the wintertime, even though it was little, covering it in plastic, no heat, no additional lights, no nothing. I've watered, I think, twice, maybe 3 times over the entire winter. It survived, and now that it's warming up, and it's not even that warm. Like I said, we still have snow in the forecast. Although it's late snow, unexpected grand solar minimum type of snow, the point of the matter is it's still getting that cold. It's still getting down into the low 40s, upper 30s at night, which is not healthy for my tomatoes, but they're surviving. Like I said, I wouldn't have planted them this early, but I had to be out of town, so I didn't have any choice. So that means that if you need seeds from these biannual plants, at least these, you can plant this as a fall crop, let it overwinter, and get seeds in the spring. You don't have to wait the full 2 years. They just need some time to get established, and they need some cold weather, and then they'll be ready to seed. That is huge. That's really, really huge. I can't stress that, because biannuals, I mean, that's one of the biggest downsides to them. It takes so long to get seeds. Like when you get tomatoes, you get a ripe tomato, you can eat those seeds, or you can plant those seeds right away. You don't have to wait 2 years. These you have to wait a long time, but that cuts the wait down dramatically. If you need seeds, plant it as a fall crop. This one grew all summer long and all winter long. That one was a spring planting. All the rest of these, they're all going crazy for seeds, are all fall plantings. These were all volunteers from some ones I had to go to seed in this bed before, and they made that. But anyways, let's continue. Here's the tomatoes. Some of these, I had them all with stakes, and you can see the holes in the ground where I had stakes in, but I took the stakes out, put in 2 more of these, so that I'll show this real quick. What I'm doing for this, of course I'll fix it better, obviously, but that's to make me a tent style covering for the cold nights. So I'll have that up and running and just weight it down with some boards and bricks and things like that to pull the sides out so it doesn't lay on top of the plants. I have the same setup over here for these tomatoes. You see these are doing well. This is a little runt one mentioned in the previous video. And look at these. I mean, they got some beat upness, and you can see where some of them are starting to try and put flowers on. And I think that's because they're stressed by the cold weather. So it makes them try to flower early. I did not really want to put tomatoes on this trellis, but I have 3 on here just because I had nowhere else to put them. And I have a couple of more vintage ones I have not planted out that are in the greenhouse thing, and I'll do that section in a minute. But here's what the trellis bed's looking like. It's kind of panned down the thing kind of slow here. That's one of those, that's some of these Red Express cabbages. I threw them on the side. Like here again, I wasn't really wanting to put those there, but you know, it's going to be a while for these peas are ready, because they're going to grow all the way up the side here, about 6 feet tall for sugar snap peas, and that's going to give them some time. May as well make use of that space. In fact, what I'm also planning on doing as soon as I get some time is I want to make use of some more of the space. I want to go along with some cut and come again lettuce along the edges, and I want to do some maybe a few radishes, and maybe, I don't know, kind of lukewarm on the radishes, although they do have some SHTF properties that we can discuss in a future video. But I want some of that, and I also want to put some carrots in. I was going to put carrots in my onions, but I kind of used all the space for onions, so I was thinking about putting a row of carrots, at least part way. You know, if I get, you know, 5 or 6 feet of carrots up here, I'd be happy with that, and maybe a few radishes, some lettuce, stuff thrown in on the sides. But primarily I want this for peas. When the peas get done maturing, I'm going to put some pole beans. I might put some melons down here on the end. I might put, I don't know, I haven't decided what I'm going to put there yet. I know melons aren't very SHTF, but I got a few varieties I'd like to try. Also, maybe I might try growing some winter squash up this and let it go up, and then come back down the other side for winter squash. But that's probably, my winter squash is going to be along that fence. So I'm gonna have winter squash every so many feet. I'm gonna try and push them up against the fence and let them stay that way. That's where I grow them every year. I'm gonna pack them in a lot more this year than I have in previous years for the SHTF. But I'm gonna put at least 20 or 30, 20, 25 probably along that fence. Some space to be sacrificed for corn, and have some for a little greenhouse. Anyways, let's go continue on with a little bit of a tour. So this is a new cabbage I planted. This actually surprisingly did not bolt, although it looks like it's kind of beat up. This is some more, this is a spinach that is, that was overwintered in that pot. That's just weeds. All right, here's my corn patch where, if it ever stays warm enough, I plan on tilling this up and putting corn there. It's about 7 feet wide by approximately 21 feet long. So I should be able to get a good 200 or so, 240. I'm gonna put, my plan is probably put a row, skip foot, give foot spacing, another row. I know it probably needs to be spaced more than that, but I'm gonna pack them in. And then once every 6 inches down the row. I've got 2 or 3 varieties of corn that I'm gonna put in here just because of, that's the seeds I have. And so we're gonna try that out. Let's go take a look and see how these onions are doing. Onions are starting to pop up. They still need a lot of growth, but they look big and impressive. And but they're starting to establish. They're starting to stand up on their own. I've been pulling grass and stuff out of here as I see it, because this bed's still in pretty bad shape. And then you got all these right here. Pretty sure that's all baby tomatoes. Unfortunately, I don't have any room for them. I'd love to save them, do something with them, because I had grew cherry tomatoes and yellow pear tomatoes in this bed last year, and so there's like a million little baby tomatoes coming up all over the place. And if I had somewhere to put them or anything I could do with them, I certainly would try and save them as much as possible. Although if we do get snow Wednesday or Thursday, I'm sure they'll be toast at that point. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the greenhouse view. All right, this is a bit of a mess, but here we go. Here's for the greenhouse. And if y'all watched my review on a solar powered station, this is where it was filmed at. Anyways, let's run through this real quick. This right here is my eggplants, most of them anyway. So I got 2 different varieties I'm growing. Let's see if I can get them in here. Regular Black Beauty eggplant, and I've got Casper eggplant, which is a white eggplant I've never tried before. In the back I got bell peppers. So these are some bell pepper starts I started, and these are beautiful eggplants. In fact, one of them looks like it's trying to make a flower already, which is too early for that. Although I did plant them back in February, but the end of February. I noticed the Casper started to make spikes on it. Black Beauty does not have spikes. So with all the craziness, some of these are trying to flower prematurely. I know I have too many in here. I need to take some out. These are a bunch of chili peppers. I basically got a seed packet wet by accident, so I just dumped a bunch of seeds in there. A whole ton of them came up. This is ashwagandha. It's an Indian herb. You grow it. Takes 5 months minimum. Better if you get 8 months or so for bigger roots. You cut and dry the roots, turn them into tea. It's supposed to be very medicinal. And there's nothing wrong with growing little medicinal herbs in the SHTF Garden. It is also nicknamed Cards Indian ginseng. Here's some herbs I can't wait to start adding to my food. I got some bunching onions in here. I got some chives in there and some cilantro. Like I said, my tomatoes are in danger of dying off from the cold. This one here is also one of my overwintered experiment ones. I had 3 of them. And there's that one, and here's the other one in this pot. And as you can see, they're making some delicious, let me eat this one. Juicy, fresh tomatoes. I picked my first ripe cherry tomato off of these on Easter Sunday. So that's one advantage of doing them over winter is you get some early fruit. Although the plants are kind of beat up, and I think there's some changes I would make from next time. But anyways, that's delicious. All right. Alum. These are some of my vintage one. I need to separate these two. Let me see if I can do that on a video. I got a plan on how I want to do that. Try and save them both if possible. I only want to plant about 2 of these, but I have several of them because several seeds came up. So I'm hoping I can soak down the root structure to break up all the soil and separate them that way. That way I can have 2 or 3 of them that I want and give away the extras. Oh, they're all snagged in here. It's my Egyptian spinach. I have 2 Egyptian spinaches. We'll see the other one in a minute. But that lemon balm back there never came up. I need to replant it. What is this coming up back here? No, that's just dead. That's just a piece of grass. I don't want that in here. Sometimes it still finds its way in here, surprisingly enough. Here's some pepper starts that started a while back. Those aren't looking too hot, but they're alive and well. So I'm sure once it gets warm and they get outside. And here's some basil. Now this stuff is going crazy. I got the basil from the store. In fact, that green pot back there had the Dollar Tree. I don't know if you can see it very well, but had the Dollar Tree basil start kit. Threw that thing in there, nothing grew. I got these basil seeds from my parents, and I just sprinkled some in there, and like, look how many's come up. So I probably need to spread these around too. I got some various potato starts I haven't had a chance to plant yet, partially because I'm gonna find some room for them, some pots or some garden bed stuff or whatever. I'm gonna plant all kinds of melons, but I did get this one from the store. These are kind of, where melons are these? Jubilee, I think. Yep, Jubilee. So I'm gonna try some of these that I got from the store. They're a little beat up from riding in the car. Took them on a long road trip when I was out of town. I bought them while I was out of town. That's why they're kind of banged up. But I figured I'd take them back as a memento of my trip. When I had some extra seeds or extra plants on seeds, I didn't want to just cut them all. So some of them I gently pulled out of their tray and stuck them in their own soil. And that's where some of these are, like this. So I'm not sure which kind of eggplants these are. I'm assuming because this one's probably a Casper since it's getting the spikes. This one probably a Black Beauty because there's no spikes. This one probably Black Beauty because there's no spikes. Same thing with these peppers here. These peppers actually came out of that with all them other littler peppers, but they really took off whenever they spread out and had their own space. Go figure, right? So I need to do that with some other ones as well. Here's another eggplant. Some more peppers, and these peppers back here. But that's what's going on here in the greenhouse, and I can't wait to be able to get in here once the winter kind of lets up, so I got to start seeds, and that'll hopefully be another video that comes out soon. I need to start seeds on my winter squash, my summer squash, some cucumbers. Probably gonna do 2 rounds of cucumbers. There's all kinds of things that need to get started and ready. It's past time. It's time for some stuff. I need to get these my sweet potato slips. Almost forgot to mention these. This was some volunteers. When I was cutting and pulling things out, I just kind of threw them in there, and some of them actually rooted and survived, like that tomato and this. I guess it's a turnip. And so I got all kinds of of stuff in here for slips that I need to get so that I can get them all ready to go out into the garden once it's warm enough. But I need to cut them so I can put them in the water so they can start rooting. That'll be another video as well, so that I can try and get those ready. There's all kinds of stuff happening. All kinds of stuff needs to happen. I've been busy with work. Haven't had a chance to get to everything yet. But that is the update, down and dirty. Try to be as quick, as punctual as I could about it. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get everything done I needed to get done. And this right here is, this shoving rack is actually what I'm gonna be planning on trellising up some of those cucumbers on. Then I'm gonna do a second round once the cucumbers are, once the sugar snap peas are ready. Then that's I'm gonna put some more over there. So it'll be a little staggered. I got some cell trays I want to start the rice in. I also have amaranth. I'm going to start some amaranth and try and get some grains in here. Then I'll have potatoes, amaranth, and rice if all goes well. Maybe not in huge quantities because it's what a backyard can grow, but every single mouthful you get is one I'm not relying on the store at. Every single one's going to get me seeds for more, or seeds for my neighbors, or seeds for anybody who needs them, so that we can start having a little bit more of the self-sufficiency. And in case the worst ever comes, which every day it looks more and more like it possibly may. I don't want to make doomsday predictions, but prices are not going to go down, that's for sure. They only seem to go one direction, and that is up. So unfortunately in this climate I can't grow year round. And that's one reason why I'm trying to get so many tomatoes and so many other things out, so I can do some canning and preserving, dehydrating, everything, whatever I can do, because I got 6 or 7 months of good growing season up here. Trying to jam every single bite of food out of that time and out of this space as I can. So that's what's going on in the greenhouse. That's what's going on in these pots. And that's what's going on here in the SHTF Garden so far early in the 2021 season. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to see how much corn I can get in a 7-foot by 21-foot long patch. So if you'll join me on this journey. If you like the content, if you like the sound of my voice, whatever, go ahead and share this video, because I need the shares, and help me grow this channel. I want to grow it big. I want to be able to try and help people if I can, at least encourage people and start a good conversation about what people are growing, what people are doing, how they're accomplishing things, and what they're accomplishing. So as a community, we can come together and be able to grow SHTF style, and be able to take care of ourselves, put food on the table. We're not having to rely from the grocery store, and have fun doing it. I mean, how great is this? I love these experiments. How great is this? I know my video is pretty much over, but I'm so excited that these are going to seed. I didn't have to wait 2 years for a biannual. Have you ever even heard of such a thing? I haven't. So leave some comments, likes, shares, subscribe. Please share this video and help me grow this channel. All right, well, have a good day, and I will see y'all next time. Let's see what's growing on. SHTF Garden out.